Jones, who also was very vocal. He was not afraid to speak his mind. Joins us now. Richetti, good to talk to you, my man.
Good morning, Robert.
And when we talked on the phone this morning, I knew you saw what was going on yesterday, and I told you it hurts when something like that goes on. But if you think something's good going to come out of it, it makes it a little better. And that's kind of the way I felt when I went to bed last night.
Oh yeah, definitely, man. This is definitely a learning. It's a learning point for everybody nationwide in the country. Okay, and it happened in Stillwater first. And what occurred yesterday is something that every program in every college football program, and not just college but professional as well, they're going to learn from. And the whole thing with the OAN shirt with Coach Gundy, people don't understand. Coach Gundy is a great guy. Great guy. He's one of the guys that, hey, he'll probably be invited to my wedding one day. He's the guy that I can call Coach Gundy right now and say, Coach Gundy, can I get a letter of recommendation? I have a job coming up. Coach Gundy's going to say, Richetti, good luck with the job, man. I'm going to get Danielle to send it over to you. Is there anything else that you need, right? And I would hate and I refuse to let this one incident try to define who Coach Gundy is as a person, because he is still a great person, great guy, one of my favorite people, and I refuse to let people label him as a racist with this whole thing going on. Now, with the T-shirt, was it the smartest idea? No. Was it insensitive? Yes. But I refuse to let that one thing define who Mike Gundy is.
And Richetti, let's just start with this, because this was a question I asked the former players, and we asked, the current players yesterday. We talked to four former, two that went on record, and two that wanted to be anonymous, and then logically all the current players wanted to be anonymous, and I have no problem with that. But in your experience at Oklahoma State, being black as a player, were you? I mean, what was it like for you? And was there ever times you were uncomfortable or felt like that you know you weren't understood or weren't treated fairly? What was your experience at Oklahoma State like?
Well, my experience at Oklahoma State, like so many others, Oklahoma State really is a safe haven, and it really it almost really doesn't prepare you for the real world. In Stillwater, I didn't really experience too much racism or interaction with any type of injustice or anything like that, because everybody in Stillwater, man, they're people they're salt of the earth, man. They're great people, and of course you're gonna have racist people everywhere you are. But I never experienced it in Stillwater. But when I got into the real world, when I left Stillwater, man, that is when I experienced some of the harshest and the most racism I've ever experienced in my life. And I really felt naive almost when I got outside of Stillwater and I saw that all white people weren't nice and all white people weren't as understanding as the people that I encountered and I dealt with in Stillwater. So my experience in Stillwater, I didn't really experience racism or any type of things like that. But as far as the OSU program, I definitely didn't experience racism, because you have to think about it. The team is predominantly black, and most of your playmakers are African American. So it's one of those deals where we actually had a voice. So when everything happened yesterday, everybody has a right to feel what they feel and do what they want. But I definitely feel that it was handled the wrong way, and maybe I'm not there anymore, so I don't know exactly what the culture is on the team as far as being able to talk and communicate and express yourself. But when I was at OSU, Coach Gundy had an open door policy, and we've had plenty of team meetings where Coach Gundy, we disagreed with Coach Gundy, and we were able to voice that disapproval or what we were displeased with, and it was heard. Sometimes, hey, Coach Gundy didn't agree, and it was just his way or no way. And other times, Coach Gundy, he understood and saw it our way. So I'll give you an example. This was when Russell Okun and all those guys were there, and Joel Tubman, he was starting up his church, but his church was in Oklahoma City, and we wanted to go to church on Sundays, and it was one of those deals where Coach Gundy talked to the team about it. He talked to different groups of guys and see what we felt about practicing on Sundays or Mondays, and he gave us the option, and he heard our voices, and he respected the fact that, Coach, we don't want to practice on Sundays because we want to go worship and go to church. And he respected our feelings, and we talked about it, and it was handled. And I have other examples of it, but I'm just saying all that to say this. I feel, and I'm not going to say Chuba was wrong because he has every right to do what he wants. He's a man. But as a man, it's one of those deals where if you really wanted to get something done, you didn't have to go to social media to do it. You could have talked to your teammates, and you all could have handled it in-house. So instead of going on Twitter, he could have sat here and told the team, hey, we're not practicing, or we're not going to go to practice today until Coach Gundy addresses this issue. And it would have been handled in-house. Now it's a whole whirlwind, and you have a lot of people that have misconstrued the whole thing. And I'm actually disappointed in the OSU fans because of their reaction and the backlash that I got from them. It was very hurtful because I am a proud OSU Cowboy, and I'm the first guy to say "Go Pokes" when I see an OSU logo. And of course, and some of the comments that I read yesterday were very nasty, and I equivalent them to Laura Ingram. Do you know who Laura Ingram is, Robert?
Yes, I do.
Yes. I equivalent that to when she said, shut up and dribble. When she said that to Kevin Durant and LeBron James.
Right.
Okay? Like, you just can't be that way. When I'm your guy, I'm your favorite person on Saturdays as long as I'm entertaining you. But when I have my own political views or feelings, now all of a sudden you tell me I just need to play basketball or football and shut up. And I was disappointed with the backlash that Chuba got from that. And what more people have to understand, what I need white America to understand, what I need all OSU fans to understand, a lot of times when you go and get these athletes, and I'm one of the guys, when you come from a poverty-stricken area with a lower socioeconomic environment, you have guys that when they come to Oklahoma State, this is the best life. This is the best thing they will ever have in their life, the best life they'll ever live. Okay? And what they come from and the things that they went through to get to Oklahoma State, a lot of people would fold and they would break under that pressure. So when you have a lot of black guys on this team that have experienced oppression, that have experienced racism, have experienced injustice, okay? We don't come from the same place. So you can't be insensitive to their needs. And I just really want Coach Gundy to think about this, and I want him to wrap his head around this, because I just had this epiphany this morning when I was just thinking about this whole thing. Believe it or not, Coach Gundy, you have black children. You have children. You have a lot of guys on your team that do not have fathers. Do not know what it is to be under male instruction. And Coach Gundy is the only father that they know. So, Coach Gundy, I know it's not fair, Any of your other friends could probably wear the shirt and get away with it, but you are held to a different standard and you're on a pedestal. Like, dude, you have black sons that look up to you and they trust your word. They embody everything that you teach them and they trust you. And not only do these young men trust you, but their families, they trust Coach Gundy. All right? So think about this. Will Coach Gundy wear that shirt on a recruiting trip? Will he wear that to, like, Coach Gundy, God forbid he ever wear that to my dad's
No.
house. My dad would have karateized him or something, right? But you have to
Oh.
Coach Gundy has to be he has to really be self-conscious about wearing these things, okay? Because I don't have a problem with his political affiliation or if he's a Trump supporter. That's not any of my business. That's his right. That's his American right. It's a constitutional right. But when you wear propaganda like that, it strikes a nerve and a chord with your players because it wasn't a MAGA hat or it wasn't a MAGA shirt. But when you wear things like that that are directly connected to Donald Trump, it's like you have to think about it, man. When Donald Trump says "Make America Great Again," and you say that to a black guy, a black guy's going to ask you, when was America ever great for my people? Like Robert, my mom is
Yeah.
65. My mom is 55 years old. Man, Jim Crow and segregation ended in 1964. You know what I'm saying? Like my grandparents, my great grandparents are still alive, and they went through it. So when people use that type of propaganda and say those things and show you those type of things to your face, it strikes the nerve. And once again, man, everybody has their constitutional right of freedom of speech and to believe what they want. And Coach Gundy has every right to do whatever he wants. Whatever Coach Gundy does behind the privacy of his home, that's his business. But he just has to be more self-conscious, man, about the people and that he shepherds, man. He's a shepherd of men, of young men, black, white, Latino, whatever you want to call it. He is the shepherd over their lives and one of the most pivotal points in their lives. And Stillwater, Oklahoma, is a safe haven for young men, for all college athletes. A lot of you're in Stillwater. You live in Stillwater, Robert.
I actually I live in Edmond, but I feel like I live in Stillwater, okay?
You know what, Robert? I can't believe you traded on us, Robert. but
No. No.
but
My wife's job is in Edmond, so I make sure she has the short drive and I have the long one.
hey, man, and that's what real men do, and I know she appreciates it. But I said all that to say, Robert. Robert, you know how you might run across guys that played at OSU 10 years ago or 12 years ago. You will see random old players in Stillwater, right?
Yep.
Okay. And for the average OSU fan, the ones that go to college and they enjoy their 4 or 5 years there and then they leave and start their lives, they don't understand when they see older players and ex-players come back and they're working in Stillwater or they're living in Stillwater and they don't know why they came back. You know why they came back, Robert? Most of the time it's because Stillwater is a safe haven, and it was the best time, the safest time, and the most productive time of their lives. Because when Coach Gundy and his staff, they go to these poverty-stricken areas and lower socioeconomic areas and reach down and grab these young men out of their circumstance, guess what? That's the best they'll ever do in life. So you have guys that come back to Stillwater, Oklahoma, and live their lives because they'll never do better than that. And there's nothing wrong with Stillwater, but I just want you to really wrap your head around that, Robert. When life gets too hard for some of these guys, they come back home. They come back to Stillwater, Oklahoma, because it's a safe haven. And a lot of guys like myself were under the tutelage and the guidance and the love of Coach Gundy. So when you see things like that, it bothers you, you know?
No, and I understand it completely because other than a few years in Wichita Falls and working at Channel 4 in Oklahoma City, I've spent a lot of my working life in Stillwater because I love the community, I love the university, I love being there. So I understand completely what you're saying. Let me ask you this: I got two questions, and God, the way you're going, Richetti, we may have you on another hour with two questions. But no, that was unbelievable. But um, you you were part of the program, and was Coach Gundy doing the council, players council, when you were there?
I think he started it. I think he
Okay,
really, I think he started it, the whole thing, like a little bit. I think he kind of tested it my last year, but it was something that really came to fruition the year after I left. Like a year or two after I left, it actually became a thing. So you know what? As a matter of fact, no, we didn't have the council. It came after I
okay,
left.
okay. Yeah, I wanted to ask that, and then the other thing is real simple. Uh, what do you hope to see happen next after yesterday?
Um, I would, I really want everybody nationally to take heed from what happened in Stillwater, and I want people to pay more attention and be conscious to what they do, what they say, what they wear, and I want them to have more conversations. Conversations need to be had with these college athletes, especially the black ones right now that are in these universities, like the coaches, the staff, the universities. They need to have a panel. They need to have questionnaires. They need to have something that talks and communicates and try to understand the climate and how these guys feel. Because when you go to a university like Oklahoma State, um, most of the time when they see a big black kid, everybody knows, oh yeah, he plays football or basketball because it's predominantly white, you know,
Right.
and it's one of those deals, man, where you have a kid that's grown up in a black neighborhood in a black environment his whole life, and then he gets to an all white university, man. It's one of those deals where, and with all of these things going on in the world, you really need to check his temperature. You really need to gauge how he's feeling because when he's at home, wherever that may be, all across the country, you know, there are race wars. You know, it's a powder keg between with black people right now. So when they get back to these predominantly white institutions, they need somebody to talk to them. They need somebody to try to understand how they feel and hear them out and try to put different measures and certain guidelines to help accommodate these young men and help make sure that their mental fortitude is okay, you know. But Robert, I don't want to keep you too long, but I don't have Coach Gundy's number, man. But whenever you talk to him again, hey, you make sure you let Coach Gundy know that I love him and he's definitely still my guy. Okay?
I will do that, Richetti. Richetti, you've always been one of our guys, and I will talk to you soon. I appreciate your time this morning.
Oh yeah, thank you, Robert. If you you need anything else, man, do not hesitate to call me. You know, I'm always with you because you are also my guy.
Richetti, I appreciate it. Appreciate you coming on. So thank you.
Oh yeah, thank you.
Right, Richetti Jones.